Hey there, Angry Faithful. I just wanted to drop in, bend your ear a little bit, get your attention. So if you're not listening, drop what you're doing and pay attention to me because I'm here to inform you that not only can you get your daily, maybe if you're binging it, I'm not sure, that's entirely up to you, but you can multiply your doses of angry me fuckery by paying attention to all of the platforms upon which you can find either the dulcet tones of my voice and David's voice or my pretty face and David's not so pretty face. Anyways, digressing, we not only we are on YouTube, we are on Spotify, we're on Rumble, we're on Google, Apple Podcast. We have a TikTok page. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and of course Facebook. So if you find yourself fuckery deprived, curl up with a nice hot mug of shut the fuck up and just listen. Open those ear holes and be prepared to be cream pied like it's the first time. Thanks for listening.
Welcome, Angry Faithful. Today on Nerd Sports 88, we're gonna talk about man versus horse marathon, and apparently the horse usually wins. That's a thing. They have
Bo
it.
Jackson beat a horse.
Huh?
Bo Jackson beat a horse in a race.
In a race?
Mm-hmm.
How? Even the miniature ponies piss me off because they run so fast.
Look it up. There's a video out there. Bo Jackson actually beat a horse in a race.
But they have some kind of horse marathon, and yes, the horses usually win.
See, at first, I thought you said whore. I'm like, man versus whore. Okay. I mean, the whores always win.
Well, whores are a different species anyways.
I mean, unless you're talking about whores versus serial killers, but then they never win.
That was okay. Anyways.
See what I did there? I went all dark. I went all psychos and sociopaths.
Yeah, I know. So our picks this week.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
And they were a shit this week.
Yeah, dude.
Such a shit.
Every game that I looked up, because I did a little bit of research today. I was like, I wonder how good our picks did. It was like the
this was the week of the upset.
Again.
This was the week that humbled your gracious host. Oh, and for those of you watching on video, you will notice that to my right, your left, we have live in studio, recorded before a live studio audience. We have Colin. Say hi, Colin.
Hello.
And next week, Chris should be on the show again. He couldn't make it to Fort Worth for next week, for this week. He wanted to go too, because I asked him, I think I talked to him Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, because I told him I gave you those tickets.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, you want to go? He's like, oh, dude, I want to, because I want to see Carrie again. I was like, oh, okay. The chick that basically had you like kick me to the curb. No big deal. I mean, I'm not upset about that or anything. I was upset. Nah, I wasn't upset. I was happy for him. I really was. But
I mean, even a blind pig's got to find a truffle every now and then, right?
Yeah, no. Now on our picks this week, almost every one of them.
We will get into the travesty on post pick wrap up. Well, you know what? We'll go into it as we're hitting it. All I'm going to say is that Angry Faithful, ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys, girls, and everybody in between with those made up genders, be mindful that we here at Angry Me Production are rank amateurs. I do not get paid. Nobody on this show gets paid to make these picks, these predictions. ESPN is not beating down my door. The NFL Network, Barstool Sports, DraftKings, nobody of that ilk is beating our doors down, begging us to come work for them because of our Notre Dame-like insight. That being
can
said,
you like turn up your mic a lot?
fine.
Because I can
fine.
barely hear you.
Is it that better?
No.
No? No?
You yelled at too.
What about now? Is that better? Because I can hear myself just fine.
Okay. Well,
Can you not hear me? What about now?
yeah, I can hear you a little bit better, but are you also
I will sit
closer to the
I will sit
computer?
closer. I'll sit closer because when somebody slouches back in their seat, that usually shows either one, a sign of indiscipline, or B, hubris. And well, I'm very humble this week. I wish to God that my old soundboard still worked as well so I could play the crow sound, because I'm telling you, that was a gamey dish right there. All right. So that having been said, we are going to dive into these. So week 15 started off on a high note.
Yeah.
We said that the 49ers were going to go into Seattle and beat the Sea Slugs. And that's exactly what happened, 21-13. Then the Colts put a charge of fear into us. I mean, they were like, the Colts come in there and they're like, fuck them timeouts. And they put up like 23 points in the first half or some shit. And then the Vikings happened. They came back and they kicked a field goal to end regulation and won that game 39-36. So at least for now, we're undefeated in last week's picks.
Oh, I wonder. Well, no, Chris
This
sent
is where
me
the waters
a.
get that. No. I watched.
I forgot. I forgot. Chris sent me a video through TikTok. Wanted me to take a look at it. Of course,
So you're picking now to do that?
No, it was the. Did Pittsburgh and the Panthers play this weekend?
Yes, they did, and we will get into that. Again, you are jumping the gun.
I'm not jumping the gun. I just found something and like I'm
You are
like with
jumping
shiny
the gun.
rock.
You are getting ahead.
I want to show you the
Okay,
shiny rock first.
Tactically speaking, when you get out ahead of the main body, that's usually when you find yourself getting cut off, separated, and you're like a couple of 11 and 12-year-old boys playing Call of Duty Warzone, and you've got them screaming at each other over FaceTime because they're on opposite ends of the map, and the guy that took off across the map is wondering why he doesn't have any fire support.
I found a shiny rock.
Okay.
That's
so the
where that comes
Colts,
from.
we picked to lose to the Vikings. We started off the week really well. Then we had the Ravens beating the Browns. Not only did the Ravens not beat the Browns, but they lost to the Browns 13-3.
I don't know why you're signing that one. There's a lot horrible ones out there.
Hey, I'm getting there. Okay. The only reason why I'm, I've got my Don't Tread on Me. I've got my Gadsden cup filled with Beyond Black Rifle coffee. And I'm doing this to help me from crying. Okay. Because yes, I did talk to Chris after the show that night. And well, actually it was the next day. And no, that was that night. And he was like, bro, can you not hear me again?
I can't hear you.
Seriously?
Oh, damn it. All the fucking hell. Okay.
Wait.
There we go.
You know what?
No, it's
Okay. It's on your end?
Yeah. For some
It's
reason.
those discount cables you'd be buying, homie.
God. I am so.
Get
Okay.
you a braided microphone cable.
I'm probably gonna have to get one of those.
Okay, so I talked to Chris the night that we shot the show, so last Tuesday, and apparently you had sent him the pics, and he was like, "What the fuck," and I was like, "Man, hey."
No,
I said,
it's on Facebook.
Need I remind you that I picked the Lions? And he goes, dude, one pick does not make you a god. And I was like, no, I understand that. I said, truly, I got lucky on that one, but I had a gut feeling. And he was like, I'm going to laugh if these picks blow up in your face. And I'm like, okay, and I'm prepared to hear the lehi ha ha le ho ho. I'm ready from that. I'm ready for that. So the Ravens let us down, and yeah, that happened. All right. So moving on, we had the Bills beating the Dolphins. That happened 32-29. Thank you, Josh Allen. Thank you, Buffalo. And thank you, Bills Mafia. Okay, next we had the Falcons over the Saints. That one almost happened. The Falcons dropped that game 18-21. We're moving on. Oh, I had the Panthers beating the Steelers. This is one of the picks that Chris questioned my sanity and my manhood over. And it's like that scene from the Benchwarmers when they bring that grown-ass man in and he's got his birth certificate and it says I am 12.
Which that actually technically happened again this year.
Well, no, that kid has had facial hair since he's been 8.
What about the tattoos?
Dude, look where he lives. No, you know what? I'm going to retract that because that sounds incredibly insensitive and racial, and it's neither. But, I mean, his birth certificate is authenticated and everything, man. Anyways, digressing.
I mean, you can't fake that, right?
I need you to do me a huge favor. Bring that here. We're going to take a time out for a second. Okay, but I'm not going to take any. I'm going to show. Okay. All right, so the girls have been in the kitchen for the last few days making Christmas goodies. This is it's called Christmas
Okay.
crack.
Yeah, I know.
No?
I've seen that.
Oh, this is just peppermint bark.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want diabetes, come to my house.
Apparently, shit.
Yeah. Okay. Wilford Brumley is going to be beating our door down 2 days after Christmas trying to sell us Liberty Medical diabetes supplement supplies.
Yeah.
And they're going to make caramel corn tomorrow. Okay. For those of you who wonder why I wear a 38-inch waist belt, I live with 2 women who know how to cook. Yeah. So there's that.
Have you ever heard this
Anyway.
weird thing called self-control? I know it's kind of weird.
Look, that would be like telling you not to jerk off 3 times a day.
That's a slow day, though.
See? Self-control, homie, moderation.
That is self-control. That is moderation for me.
So we had the Panthers beating the Steelers. That didn't happen. So, Chris, you were right. Okay? We get
Dude,
it.
that game was fucking
pat yourself on the back, but don't do it too hard because you're just hairy enough to where you might start a fire. Then we had the Eagles over the Bears. That was a no-brainer. The Eagles got us back in the win column. We had the Chiefs over the Texans. That one happened 30-24. Then we had our lock pick of the week. Now, to preface this, the Cowboys last week had the AAA gold pick of the week to beat the Houston Texans, right? The Cowboys almost fucked around too much and found out. Luckily, they were able to pull it out, but they not so much this week. Dak Prescott throws a pick 6. Yes, your very long table runner finally came in. Dak Prescott throws a pick 6 at the end of the game, and the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Dallas Cowboys in regulation. I'm sitting here going, you were tied. You were tied. You could have just ran the ball, but no. You could have taken it to overtime. You could have been okay, but Dak went Dak and somehow forgot that he's making millions of dollars to throw a football, right?
Mm.
I mean, there are to his credit, the receiver caught it. It hit him in the hands. This is not necessarily on Dak. I blame the receiver for not hanging on to the ball. But we're going to move on. Now, I've been getting kind of ballsy the last couple of weeks, and I've been picking the Lions to win, right?
Mm-hmm.
I picked the Lions to beat the Jets, and oh my God, that's what happened. 20-17, the Lions go into the Meadowlands and beat the Jets, Jets. Who would have thought? Who would have seen? Who could have foretold? I'm looking at you, Nostradamus, that the Lions at this point in the season would have a 500 record. They are now officially 7-7. And dare I say that the mathematically the Detroit Lions are still in the playoff picture for the for the NFC.
Yeah. That's what surprises me.
Okay. Now, moving and I'll I'll come back to the Cowboys in just a second, because the Cowboys needed to win that game to clinch a playoff spot, right? Or if they would have lost, they didn't need help. Okay. So we picked the Cardinals to beat the Donkeys. Well, the Donkeys won 24-15. Now, this does not mean that the Denver Donkeys are going to re-earn their official moniker on this show, because I'm not sold on Russ Danger Wilson, because, I mean, calling him Danger Wilson sounds like a Disney superhero. It's like, I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am Darkwing Duck. I mean, that's how ridiculous he sounds.
Yeah.
Somebody cue up. Oh, what was his ex-wife's name? The rapper, Fortune, something like that. Yeah, somebody play her song in the background. Hack his playlist and start pumping that music in there. I'm telling you, I promise you, it's gonna work. Okay, moving on. You okay, my guy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Because when you do that, it's really loud because I've got the microphone way up high. Anyway, so we picked the Patriots to beat the Raiders, and it could have happened. They were going to go to overtime. Mac Jones throws the ball. No, they run the ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they start trying to lateral it around. Well, the Raiders picked it up and ran it back for a touchdown at the end of the game. So
Yeah,
kudos to Raiders Nation. Kudos.
That was
great.
awesome.
You beat the Patriots finally. Unfortunately, Tom Brady wasn't the quarterback, so does it really count as a victory against the Patriots?
Yeah.
Okay. I know. If my old buddy Chip Wilson ever listens to our show and he hears me say that, he's gonna be like, "Fuck you." Oh, he was so pissed. Okay. And then we had the Titans over. We had the Titans over the Chargers. Chargers pulled it out 17-14. Then I had the Bengals over the Buccaneers. I was right. Bengals beat the Buccaneers 34-23. Now, for those of you who
losing it the last couple of games.
Yeah, let me elaborate on that. So for those of you who have been listening or watching the show for the last few weeks, I've been kind of on this whole Brady post-divorce train, right? Picking Brady to win, get back in his winning ways because he's got nothing else better to do now, right? The writing is on the wall. Tom Brady will not be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer next year. There are rumors that he may end up going to San Francisco, or the news dropped later or earlier this week, yesterday, as a matter of fact, that he has a scheduled meeting set up to go talk to Bill Belichick to potentially re-sign for what would be his last year in the NFL as a member of the New England Patriots, to end it where it all started.
That would be kind of fitting.
It would be nice to see, but you got to kind of worry about the future and the career of Mac Jones. Now, is Mac Jones going to take a back seat to Tom Brady, kind of learn under his tutelage for one full season before he finally takes over the reins officially? We don't know. We'll find out. Then what was that? Was that you or was that the chair? Never mind. Okay. Then I had the Commanders picked to beat the Giants. Now, reason why I say that is because the Giants hadn't been playing very good football. Now, to come back to the Cowboys, I said they needed either win or if they lost, they needed help. Now, the help that they needed in this particular scenario was they needed the Giants to beat the Commanders, right? Well,
Mhm.
that's exactly what happened at FedEx Field in Washington. The Giants go in there 20-12 and beat the Washington District of Columbia. Okay. They beat the District of Columbia Commanders. And yes, I know everybody. If you're new listening to the show, I know that not the District of Columbia Commanders. I know it's the Washington Commanders. Get with the
David just
program,
needed
sit down
help.
and be quiet. Okay.
David,
I
just
do
needed
that
help.
specifically for David's benefit because why? Well, the Washington Commanders and their PR department and their merchandising department, for whatever reason, had the hugest of snafus at the beginning of the year, and they released coffee cups with the Commanders logo superimposed over the outline of Washington State. You do the math.
Wow, hell,
Thank
the
you for
longest time I
participating in
thought
this
it was
conversation.
Washington State.
Yeah. Then, then we had the Rams picking to beat the Packers. And the reason why I chose that was because Baker Mayfield getting his first full start as a member of the Rams against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
You were
Though the Packers prevailed in that one 24-12. So
like
this week we didn't do so good. Now, there were several teams that clinched playoff spots, several teams that clinched division titles this past week. So thank you to the Commanders for helping the Cowboys get to the postseason. But
I hate to say this, but last week you were like dalting on the Packers, saying they were going to lose like horribly.
and the way that they've been playing, I should have been proven right.
Yeah.
But again, this isn't in any given Sunday kind of a situation. It's just like during the regular season of baseball. You play 162 games, or in the NFL's case, you play 18 games for a reason, 17 games for a reason, right?
Yeah.
So there it is. So I'm going to take all of our picks that are sometimes good and sometimes that are shit, right?
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
There you go.
I don't know why that did that, but okay.
Hey, there's crazy things going on. There's a freeze warning going on for most of the state of Texas, a freeze watch, let's put it that way, wind chill warnings. And it's Christmas, so hey, there's that.
You didn't put up the picks yet, have you?
No, I didn't. I just wiped out week 15. We're going to take a look at week 16, and we're about to break into that. So, having that been said, we've got Thursday night's game, the 22nd. We've got the Jaguars playing the Jets in the Meadowlands. I think that the Jaguars are going to come in on a high, and I'm taking the Jags over the Jets on this one. Just because the New York Jets are going to be the New York Jets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now this one, not really all that sure about. We've got the Falcons and the Ravens. I honestly don't know. So I'm just going to kind of throw this one on the wall and see which, lump of shit crawls down at first. And you know what? I'm going to do even better than that. We're going to go. I'm going to get scientific about it here. We're going to let Perry the Platypus decide. Okay.
It's going to be heads.
Perry the Platypus, if he lands heads up, we're going to take the Falcons. If he lands anywhere but heads up, we're going to take the Ravens. Okay. Oh, damn. He fell. Okay. Okay. Perry the Platypus officially, I've got a witness, landed heads up. So we're going to take the Falcons on this one. Okay, moving on.
You also gotta think whoever's having a good or bad day, like as a team.
Well, I understand that, but neither one of those teams are going to go to the playoffs this year. So that's really kind of a meaningless game, other than the fact that, you know, you got guys with contract incentives to hit certain amount of tackles, certain amount of sacks, certain amount of touchdowns, certain amount of yardage, yardage for wide receivers after the catch kind of a deal. But anyways, then we've got the Lions, the 7-7 Lions going into Carolina to play the Panthers. David, would you like to guess which way I'm going to go with this one?
No.
And not because you're watching the notepad.
I I just like the
Seriously, dogs?
Really?
Yeah.
You think the Lions actually have a chance with the Panthers?
Yeah, I do. The Lions have been playing really good football for the last few weeks. I've told you, man, the members of the Detroit Lions are starting to believe that they actually belong in the NFL, and they're starting to play that way.
Just because you got a little bit of hope through like the last couple of times
No,
doesn't make it like
They've got Jared Goff under center. Okay. Yes, he was hitting a little bit of a slump there, but he's figured it out. He's back to the form that he was in when he was in LA before the head coach gave up on him and brought Matthew Stafford in for a flash in the pan, pull a rabbit out of your ass kind of magic act last year. You see which direction Matt Stafford's going. He's not even starting.
okay.
Hence the reason why they brought in Baker Mayfield.
Mm.
Okay. Jared Goff, he's got this team clicking, man. I mean, they've figured something out.
All right.
So I'm taking the Lions over the Panthers on this one. Next, we've got the Bills at Chicago. I'm going to go with the Bills over on this because the Bears are trending the wrong way. I don't see Justin Fields taking this team and turning it around until they get some, better personnel in place.
I haven't seen the light of Bears for a while. I'm just hoping that next year they get a good defense. They have a
Traditionally that's that's been one of the one of the highlights for the Bears has been their defense. I mean, that's what won them the Super Bowl. That they had, McMahon is their quarterback in 85. But can you sit still for me there, guy? Okay. Next up, we've got the Saints at the Browns. You know what? Just for shits and giggles, I want to put the jinx on the city of Cleveland. We're going to pick the Browns over the Saints.
Only because you don't want to see them to win. You got to type that in there. Just because I don't want to see the Browns win. Or we're hoping for the best for the. That's horrible. Oh, I finally got her
Finally got a what? You what?
reverse psychology move for her here.
No.
Okay, there.
Yeah. Reverse.
No, just hopefully that he comes on the show tomorrow or he messes me at some point in time. I did get some drag up coffee. I got the Texas pecan whole bean, and if you smell it, it smells like pumpkin pecan pie. Like it's
Okay.
one of those flavored coffees. I wanted to try it out.
I remembered that my wife a few months back had bought one of those K-cup, reusable filters.
Mm-hmm.
So I ground up my entire bag of Kodiak Killer. You know
Really?
of Kodiak?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just like, oh yeah. I ground up the whole bag because I got that and Operator and whole bean, right? So I grind up the Kodiak and I just take what I need at that time, throw it in the K cup filter, close the lid, stick it in the coffee maker, and hit brew. Dude, it comes out great.
From what he said, that they're actually starting to get rid of the K cups. K cups haven't been really that popular here
Dude,
recently.
they're selling like crazy out here at the Walmart.
I don't know. Maybe it's just him.
But now, moving on from Cleveland, we're going to move to Arrowhead Stadium, where the Seahawks are going to visit the Chiefs. We're going to take the Chiefs over the Seahawks.
Yeah.
That's all we've got to say about that. Next, we've got the Vikings over the Giants. I think this is going to be the week where the Giants get eliminated from playoff contention.
Mm.
And then we've got the Bengals at the Patriots. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bengals on that one just because.
I like the Bengals.
Yeah.
They proved themselves last year, and they're getting up there. They really didn't have that much big changes for this year. So
Yeah, and I think that this coming week, when Houston comes into Nashville to play the Titans, it's the Texans versus the old Houston Oilers. Titans are going to pull that one out, and I think this is going to be the nail in the coffin for Lovie Smith as head coach of the Houston Texans. They're going to let him finish out the season, maybe. And
has he been on the outs?
dude, his team is like 1-10 and fucking 1.
No. Has he personally been on the outs? Because I know, like 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, that's 2 or 3 years ago. He was doing good, and then this happened.
Well, okay, so he did great as the head coach of the Bears that year that he took them back to the Super Bowl. But the dogs
Just
in
keep
this
it going.
house.
Just keep it going.
Yeah. So I mean, he was doing great, right? But then he just completely fell apart in the Super Bowl. But this year, I'm just like, man, I don't know. I mean, the Texans have come on strong always in the second half, and it's been too little, too late. And it's a lot like it's kind of like an unfaithful ex. They realize that they're hitting rock bottom, and you're out there living your best life,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden they want to play nice, and it's just too little, too late, right? It's kind of one of those deals.
Yeah, I know what you mean on that one.
So then we're going to move back out to San Francisco, where the Niners are going to take on the District of Columbia Commanders. Again, if you haven't been listening to the show, yes, I know what they're actually called. Get with the program, do some history, go back and listen to some previous episodes, and you'll understand why. We're going to take the Niners over the Commanders on that one. And then, yeah, I hate to say this. I really do hate to say this. We've got the Eagles coming to Dallas.
The Eagles might beat them up pretty
I
good.
think it's going to be the Eagles.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the Eagles over the Cowboys. And, and I hate to say that, man. I really do. But, I mean, yeah, I know that the Cowboys have had the highest scoring offense for the past month. But, I don't see them. And I want to be wrong. I want to take an L on this pick. But I don't see it happening. Not with
the Eagles.
Not with the Eagles, and not with, usually after a shitty, bonehead loss like the Cowboys had this past Sunday, they usually go this whole week to a week and a half of woe is me, and it's like, okay, who are we going to point the finger at? And the team just goes out flat the next week. I mean, I want the Cowboys to show up to work. I want them to have showed up to work on Monday, looking at this game on the schedule, learning the schemes, figuring out
where's the game
defensive
gonna be at?
packages. What?
Where's the game gonna be at?
It's going to be at AT&T. It's going to be in Arlington.
Yeah, because I think JT said he's gonna be there.
Be that as it may. I mean, I want to be wrong on this pick. I really do. But I think that the Eagles just have too much momentum. And, the only way that Dallas isn't going to get the division. They're not going to wrestle the division away from Philadelphia. They're just not going to do it. The last time that Dallas had a playoff win was against Philadelphia, and that was because they had to play Philadelphia in like the first round or something like that of the playoffs, and Dallas beat them 3 times that year. I mean, that almost never happens. I don't know, man. Again, I have all the faith and confidence in the fact that the Cowboys might be able to pull it off, but I don't see it trending that way.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that as somebody who follows the Cowboys, we got to suffer through yet another week of Stephen A. Smith putting his swollen, dumb-looking face on every social media platform, laughing at Cowboys Nation. And it's like, dude, how sad of a life do you have? I mean,
Well,
it's
at
like,
least it's not as
I
bad.
mean,
as
we need to have
Muhammad
Stephen A.
Ali.
Smith on the show so he can point on Bad Touch Bob and show us where the bad Cowboy fan touched him.
Well, it's not as bad as Muhammad Ali's forgot which one he was fighting that he did that to.
Joe Frazier? Or it was Joe Frazier or George Foreman. I think it was Joe Frazier.
It wasn't George Foreman. I think it was Joe Frazier because Joe Frazier, one
Joe
of
Frazier,
them pulled out a gun and almost shot Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. So then we're going to move from AT&T Stadium. We're going to go out to Pittsburgh to the our Crizier Stadium. I don't even know what that is, but that's the new name for the old Heinz Field out in Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. We've got the Raiders coming to town to play the Steelers. Don't really care about this game. I really don't.
I think Raiders might get it. Not Raiders, but Pittsburgh might get it.
Yeah. Now, bear in mind that with the exception of the Sunday game or the Thursday night game, every team up to this point that I've mentioned, they're all playing on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because it's Christmas Eve. And now there are going to be 3 games on Christmas Day. So, but we're going to get into those in just a second. I don't know, man. I think we'll take the Steelers over the Raiders. Maybe. No, you know what? No, I'm going to go back the other way. Not Raiders. Dummy. I can type.
They got to speak and spell, right?
Okay. So now we've got the first of 3 Sunday games, which is Christmas Day. Merry Christmas, everybody, you filthy animals. You need to find that soundbite like fast and play it at the end of the show.
Oh,
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. We've got the Packers going to Miami. I'll take the Packers on this one, man. I really am.
what the hell is that?
Pornhub is not where I need you to look. It's YouTube, buddy. Always telling me to hold on. So he must be looking at midget tranny porn or something.
Okay, I was just wondering what the fuck that was. I was picking the stuff up and I was looking at it and I'm like, what the hell is it? And it's just like a little thing in a snow globe. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, okay. Okay. Then we've got the Donkeys going to Los Angeles for Christmas Day to play Baker Mayfield and the Rams. I'm, I'm just going to be stubborn on this one. I'm going to take the Rams over the Donkeys. And then we've got the Buccaneers going to Arizona to play Colt McCoy and the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to take the Bucks on this one. I really am. And then our last game of the week is going to be Monday night. It's going to be the Chargers at the Colts. It's just, oh my God. You know what? Screw it. Let's take the Colts over the Chargers.
I didn't know Tim Curry was in the second one.
Yeah, he was the concierge.
Yeah. Just one of those things that is just like, yeah, oh, yeah. Okay.
All right. So to recap our picks, and hopefully what amounts to is a rebound week for us. We've got the Jags over the Jets on Thursday night. Then Saturday, the 24th, Christmas Eve, to you heathens, is going to be Falcons over the Ravens, Lions over the Panthers, Bears over the Bills over the Bears. We've got the Browns going over the Saints, and that's a reverse psychology move here, folks. So we've got that there. I need to put the disclaimer in on the Eagles game versus the Cowboys. So let me do that real quick. All right, so we're going to do that. We've got the Chiefs over the Seahawks. We got the Vikings over the Giants, Bengals over the Patriots, Titans over the Texans, Niners over the Commanders of the District of Columbia. We've got the Eagles over the Cowboys. I want to be wrong here, folks, but that's the way we're going. Got the Raiders over the Steelers, Packers over the Fish, Rams over the Donkeys, Bucks over the Cards, and Colts over the Chargers. So there they are. There are your picks for week 16. So we're coming down to the end of the regular season. Playoffs are going to be ramping up. Dallas is going to be one and done again. You're going to hear everybody. I mean, this is the part of the season whenever you start hearing people say, "We them boys," but then that chant gets a little bit quieter. And then when we get to the first round of the playoffs, David can't hear me right now.
No, I can. I was just
Okay.
looking at the soundboard and it's looking weird.
Okay. So, but this is the part of the season when, the "We them boys" chants get a little bit lower. And then when the playoffs come around and the Cowboys choke in the playoffs, and it's just, it's a whole thing. And it's like, we either got screwed or next year's going to be our year. We're going to the Super Bowl, baby, and all that crap. Anyways, those are our picks for the week. Not a whole lot of sports news to go over. Brittany Griner is coming back to the WNBA. I say he because, let's face it, dude's a man. Come on now.
You might not be wrong on that one.
No, just not wrong. I mean, there's a reason why Brittany Griner is the only dude in the WNBA that can actually dunk the ball.
Is that true?
Pretty sure. Anyway, so he's going back to play in Phoenix. Don't ask me what the Phoenix name is out there for the WNBA because, like a lot of people in this country, nobody cares.
I'm not even gonna look it up just to help you out there because nobody. We're gonna help what the 3 fans.
The
only reason why they got that 3rd fan is only because they were watching the news. It's like, oh, I want to see how this ends up, and that fan would be gone after it watches one game. So
if they make it past the first quarter, but
yeah.
All that aside, we here at Angry Sports, and I think I very confidently speak on behalf of both you and Chris when I say free Paul Whelan first.
Yeah.
Bring Paul Whelan home. Then we can sit down and we can start talking about ways as to how to make the WNBA relevant for the first time in their 20+ year history. And whether or not we actually pay to go see Brittany Griner dominate over women as as the man that he's been his entire life. But all that aside, bring Paul Whelan home.
Yeah,
Pure,
that was
plain
a
and simple.
that was a shitty trade.
Absolutely. I mean,
Sometimes
I've been
maybe
biting
good,
my tongue.
sometimes maybe shit.
Well, in the case of the Biden administration, it's always shit. And I've done very
I
well.
mean, look at the
And-
idiot they have walking around with the goddamn fucking football.
I've done very well to try to keep politics out of the show. I really have. As far as the sports show is related. Have I? Have I done a really bad job of it?
Yeah.
Okay, well then let me go ahead and finish pushing everything off the table and to prove to flat earthers again why the earth isn't not flat, because if it was flat, then cats would knock everything off the edge of the fucking planet. But when I say that everything that the Biden administration has done has been absolute shit, would you please quit kicking the table? Okay. Nothing that they've done has made any sense. I mean, he's either being pulled in 6 different directions. He's got a hand up his, dementia ridden butt, controlling him like a puppet. He's walking around, walking away from his security detail. He's shaking hands with people who aren't there. He's spouting off at the mouth things that make absolute no sense in any kind of language on any planet in this universe. Because why? Well, the guy is a bumbling idiot. He's never had a private job in his life. He's always served in the public sector. He's always been a bumbling idiot. There's a reason why they don't like him at the CIA, and that is because a majority, not a majority, a good number of the stars on that wall at Langley are directly related to the fact that Biden, as a member of the Senate Intelligence Committee, refused and absolutely had no ability to keep his mouth shut. And yet he's going to go and he's going to trade a known international arms dealer who was proven to have supplied both sides of the Libyan civil war with weapons. They're going to trade him back to Russia. And by the way, Russia gave him a job.
No shit.
The Russian
Really?
government gave him a job. And what do? We get an LGBTQ cross-dressing man who plays in the WNBA, who broke a law in a country that he knew was a law. He plays basketball over there during the off season. Tell me that he didn't know. Well, if I bring marijuana in a vape, I do that wrong thing. Yeah, it's a wrong thing. Good Lord. And if I remember correctly, he comes from the University of Baylor. That university should be hanging its head in shame that it pumped something out like that. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We're trading a publicity stunt, something to appease the alphabet gang, the rainbow flag waving crowd. This is nothing more than to buy their votes.
What's really sad is even they are upset about that trade. They're like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, what were you thinking? Seriously, we didn't like that bitch that much.
I'm blown away. The left and their talking pieces and their regurgitating sheep are all over Twitter, all over Facebook, all over TikTok, every social media out there.
May not be on
praising
TikTok.
Joe Biden like he was descended upon high on himself, going, "Thou shalt make this happen." No, he didn't make that happen. To say that Joe Biden had anything to do with that, other than getting out there and saying that his administration is responsible for it, is like saying that Nancy Pelosi's husband Paul didn't invite that that male prostitute into his house. Things got out of hand and a hammer got involved, and suddenly the camera footage disappeared. Can we say Epstein-esque? I mean, come on. It's a little coincidental that camera malfunctions happen when it relates to Democrats and their behind the scenes activities.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of putting that out there. I mean, it's bad. It's pretty funny. I saw Carlson Tucker the other night was talking about there was a Michael Jackson sighting on TV. We're not talking about file footage. And then he plays it. And it's Nancy Pelosi with her eyebrows way up here. Swear to God, if you squint, it's mint, right?
Yeah.
Look just like Michael Jackson.
And if you put a little kid next to her too, it'll be meant.
Hey, even better, get a chimpanzee and name it Bubbles.
There you go.
Okay. But we're going to move on to a lighter, more robustly funny part of the show. This is me stepping off of that soapbox. Are you ready for a live intro?
Yeah.
He needs to hurry his butt up. I swear. All right.
Anyways,
Boy,
let's
you
talk about
want him
that.
to hear these intros, this intro.
In the gym.
Well, he needs to hurry up. And the dogs are going crazy, everybody.
Well,
You wanna
let's
know
go
why the
off
dogs are
of.
going crazy? Because they even they smell the bullshit that's been going on in this country.
Well, let's go after the Steelers Cardinals game to where they had a. What was it? I'm trying to figure this out. Hold on.
Okay, never mind.
What did he say? No?
Already seen it.
He's what?
Here's some.
Oh, okay. Well, bully on him. Okay. So, getting back on script, I know that we've probably lost 75% of our viewership or listenership during that little tirade. So, for those of you who are keeping score at home, you can come back now. The bad man has stopped talking. All right. So, here we go. From a land 6.5 hours away comes this genetic code, the offspring of yours truly, here live in studio to save the day, to bring the sinking ship back to port. The man, nay, the teen, the myth, the clumsy legend. Do you see his face? That's awesome.
Yeah. Just think. You're
Ladies
only
and
getting
gentlemen, I
embarrassed in
bring
12
to you
countries.
our weekly ritual, the time that you have all come to know and love. It's joke time with Colin. Now, forward into the camera, speak into the microphone, and tell your jokes.
Why is Santa Claus so jolly?
Why?
Because he knows where all the naughty girls live. Joke one.
Hashtag only those. Okay, go ahead.
Why doesn't Santa have any kids?
Why?
Because he only comes once a year and it's down the chimney.
Okay.
Oh God. Oh God. So
Oh no, that's not all. He's got like 5 jokes this week.
okay, go.
What's a lesbian's favorite type of gun? A finger gun.
Okay, that one was good.
Did you say my other ones weren't good?
No, that
Keep
one.
it going, keep it going.
Keep going. Keep going.
What's the difference between a drug dealer and a hooker? You can wash a hooker and resell. You can wash a hooker's crack and resell it.
He's got a point.
He's not wrong.
You're out of line, but you're not wrong.
Okay.
What do you call a virgin on a waterbed? A cherry float.
That was good.
Oh.
Damn. Damn.
Is that it? Do you have any more?
Nope, that was it.
Okay.
Oh my God. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the rare appearance, the Christmas edition of Joke Time with Colin was brought to you live, recorded in front of a studio audience.
All
Dude,
right.
I'm done.
Anyways, there was
God.
actually some bad news on the Cardinals Pittsburgh game. Marcus Allen did get, and I watched this.
You mean Kyler Murray?
No, Marcus Allen.
Marcus Allen doesn't play football anymore.
Motherfucker. God, never mind then.
Marcus Allen used to be a running back.
He played for the Steelers for special teams.
Okay, so this is it. Hold on.
That's why
Okay, hold on.
Marcus Allen. Yeah, that happened this. Oh, thank God. Marcus Allen got a penalty after sneaking in to the Panthers huddle.
A penalty, not a felony.
Yeah. But he was in the huddle like basically unsportsman conduct and everything. But
Yeah. You know what? And to be honest, if all he got was an unsportsmanlike penalty for sneaking into the huddle during a game, then hey, you know what? That's a baller ass move, and it's worth the 15 yards.
yeah. And the first down. That's what it was.
I mean, most personal fouls like that, where it's an unsportsmanlike, and most 15 yards. I mean, most of them result in an automatic first down anyway. But yeah.
Yeah. I
I,
guess
I
it's
kind of wanted to get into that bill that the Democrats snuck through that reversed the Trump executive order allowing service academy athletes to go pro. What appears, let's see, a congressional bill was passed last week that posed, to hinder athletes from military academies. Andre Carter II, linebacker from the Army, he's projected to go as high as number 22 overall in the first round. Okay. But there now, for those of you who remember, Donald Trump signed an executive order allowing those service academy athletes to postpone their service commitment if they get drafted, right? If they go pro. Now, there's been but the language concerning the policy was altered in a new provision that was submitted earlier this week. Carter and other upperclassmen, service academy athletes, will not have to perform their mandatory 2 years of active duty service immediately after graduation. Because the rule is they have to do 2 years, because they can go for free to these service academies if they earn their commission, they do their 2 years active, and then it's like 5 years in individual ready reserve, right?
Yeah.
But language in the omnibus appropriations bill posted to the U.S. Senate Committee on Appropriations website on Tuesday grandfathers all athletes enrolled prior to June 1st, 2021 into the former bill, right? The executive order. Now, under the new wording, those candidates, including Carter, can apply for a waiver that allows them to go pro immediately. Now, Carter, he's an edge rusher from Army and possibly a top 50 pick in the 2023 NFL draft. He's figured to be among the people most affected by the new bill. Now, he's already accepted an invitation to the Reese's Senior Bowl and projects to be the Black Knights' highest pick in the common draft era, which began in '67. He finished his college career football with 20 sacks, 2 interceptions, 5 forced fumbles, and 2 blocked kicks. So, I mean, if he goes first round, dude, that'll be the first time that the Army has had a first round draft pick since the 40s. But there was surprise and outrage among in military athletics departments when Congress passed its annual defense budget bill that prevented deferment of service. Because I mean, former President Trump signed that bill or signed that executive order in 2019, but
They were trying to
now
figure a workaround so they didn't have to cancel that one and look like an asshole.
I think at this point there's just saving face.
Yeah, because the
They're
executive
just-
orders, the only thing that stops them from canceling that entirely
Mhm.
is the basic fact. Because I mean, how many executive orders did Biden, as soon as he gets into the office, he just removes? Like 48.
Yeah,
It was like
I mean,
48
basically
executive
anything
orders.
that had Donald Trump's name attached to it, Biden and the
Almost
Democrats went into
everything.
reverse. And it was just simply out of complete malice. That is all
Yeah.
it was. I mean, they're just mad that an outsider got elected president.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. But the pushback against the provision of the defense bill, defense budget bill passed last week created momentum for an altered language version of it in the appropriations measure. It could be passed by Congress and sent to the desk of the president to be signed later, not this week, but maybe towards the first part of the year, next year. But you know,
He's gonna
hey,
have to get a
I
lot
hope
of
that they make that
political.
right. I really do. I really hope that they make that right because it's, you know, it's one of those situations where you're just like, you know, I get that these guys go to these schools and they get a free ride based on their academics and whatever, you know, going into the service kind of a situation. But, you know, I mean, it's like now, I mean, you've got, depending on how this plays out, you've got a lot of athletes from Navy who are talking about entering the transfer portal. But the trick is that once you get to I think your junior year and you have to sign that commitment, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't graduate after your junior year, you have to pay back all that tuition.
Yeah.
And service
But
academy
here's the thing with
$9.
that. Here's the thing with that. Now I can tell you exactly what's going to probably happen is they're going to transfer out. The college that they go to is going to pay back that tuition as part of the
Well, see, no, and here's
transfer.
why they can't do that, because that's
Bullshit.
basically that's breaking, that's violating the NCAA recruitment rules.
I can guarantee you they're going to come up with some kind of workaround.
NCAA or athletes have to have an amateur status. That is why a lot of these colleges, especially basketball programs, got into a ton of trouble because they were going out to these inner cities and they were recruiting players from these inner city high schools and telling them, hey, look, you know, we'll put your family in an apartment, we'll get you guys out of the projects, we'll give you a job, you know, and they were paying these athletes under the table to come play for their programs. And as soon as the NCAA found out about it, they dropped the hammer on them. If a college says, hey, look, if you come to our school through the portal, we'll pay your tuition. That's the same thing as saying, hey, we're going to pay you for your services. And they can't do that in the NCAA ranks.
They could make up a grant.
It's still considered, because here's
That's
that
not
slippery,
considered. No.
here's
That
the
is one
slippery slope
loophole.
that no, because even if it's considered a grant, you're getting that as free money, right? You know, so
Okay, the thing about a grant,
I know you don't have to pay it back. I know I'm fixing to start school next month, but
yeah,
you know, the thing of it is that as a collegiate amateur athlete, even if he gets a grant from the school that he goes to, they're going to say, okay, we're going to give you this grant, use that grant however you seem fit, knowing that he's going to use it to pay off the service academy, right?
mm-hmm.
That's still money that he didn't have going into it, so the IRS could even come after him at that point.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they could.
because it's a charitable
Or it's either
donation.
that, or they find some
Grants
kind
are
of
considered charitable donations. No matter what, they're still considered charitable donations.
yeah. But then here on the devil advocate side of it, university gets involved and they give him that grant, charitable donation, use it to pay off the service academy. He goes out first year in their program, blows his ACL and ends his football career.
That's almost every
But
every
those
high
athletes
school
that are blowing
kid
their
that
knees, the regular athletes that are blowing their knees on scholarships or that are paying their way, the school didn't invest in them. Those scholarships that those players are on a lot of times don't come directly from those universities. They come from scholarship programs.
yeah.
But if the university that this athlete goes to says, "Hey, we're going to give you a grant if you come here,"
Or I'm telling you right now, they're gonna find a workaround because I'm already thinking about several other workarounds that they could do.
and hey, you know
To
what?
get
That's
those
fine.
players.
And if they do, and they find a way to play outside the law without breaking it, great. But just guarantee this: the NCAA will come in right after them. And
Oh
say,
yeah,
and
for
it's just
sure.
like, it's just like NASCAR. No, listen, it's just like NASCAR. You get a team that comes out there with a piece of tech or a piece of equipment that didn't violate the rules, but didn't follow the rule. It's in that gray area, and they kill the competition that weekend, right?
Mhm.
NASCAR comes in and says, all right, so case in point, I think it was 1998, I think, if I remember correctly. Jeff Gordon comes to the All-Star race with the famous T-Rex car. It was his red number 24 DuPont Monte Carlo Chevrolet that had the T-Rex from Jurassic Park on the hood because they were advertising Jurassic Park as a special paint scheme that year, right?
Mhm.
It came with a shock package and an aero package that didn't violate the rules, but didn't adhere to them at the same time. That entire car was a gray area car. They absolutely leveled the competition that year, leveled it, right? NASCAR didn't ding them anything, said you can keep the win, but then they went to the Hendrick Motorsports team after that and said never bring that car back to the track again. And the following week, everything that was on that car was then illegal according to the rule book. The NCAA will do the same thing, and they will find a way to punish that particular university because they made them look bad. NCAA,
I'm not
are
saying that
not
you're wrong.
they are not the most gracious of organizations whenever you figure out a loophole in their own rules. They have been known historically to go after universities or individuals, i.e., coaches and players, and say, you know what, you made us look bad because you figured out a way to get around the rules that we worked so hard to put into place. That's fine. You guys are you guys are bowl ineligible for like 5 years. Your program's now on probation. They're going to figure out a way to make that university look bad. Now, if the university figures out a way to get it done that 1 year, fine, great. But at that point, all bets are off. The NCAA is going to come after them. I will guarantee you that.
And I can guarantee you this right now: if they lose if they don't get to go to that bowl or anything like that, those players that are playing, they're still going to see that. The NFL, if one of their players that are on that team, they're going to see that, and they're still going to hire them. So it's
I'm
not
not
a
talking about
loss.
the individual. Listen,
Because
I'm not
most of the
talking about
bowls, most of the bowls, I'm not
I get that.
bowls,
No, I get that. I'm not talking about the individual players. I'm talking about the institution that particular student athlete goes to. If that university or that alumni program says, hey, look, we want you to come play for our school. We loved what you did at Navy, but we want you to come play over here for us. Come to us through the transfer portal. And then they sweeten the pot by saying, we'll give you a grant so you can pay off the service academy for the tuition, right?
Yeah.
They're not gonna punish that player.
No,
just
they're going to
won't
punish
do
the
it.
school. But here,
They'll punish the school. Now, how that's going to affect the school? Money, because it doesn't matter. If your football program qualifies for a bowl, even if it's one of the lower tier bowls, It is all about TV money. And we are talking about a loss of millions of dollars. And if you say, if the NCAA comes down and says, boom, you've got a multi-year bowl ban where you are not eligible for a bowl, regardless of your record, players will not be incentivized to play at that program, and it will neuter that program. It's happened in the past, and it will happen again. It as much of an authoritarian organization as the NCAA is as it relates to football, and as much as I disagree with some of the things that they do and the way that they run their the way that they run things, there until they come up with an alternative where somebody comes in and gathers enough momentum and enough support to come in and bring sweeping changes to the collegiate sports landscape, a university may find out a workaround, and they may get away with it for a season or two. And they may invite players to come in and say, hey, look, man, we've got a program that turned out this guy. We got a program that turned out this guy. And we've got a program that continuously pumps out draft picks. We may not be in Alabama. We may not be in Georgia. We may not be a Michigan or even an Ohio State as far as like NFL, quality, but we're still getting guys into the NFL. Come play for us to increase your odds of playing pro. And then, they're going to bring these players in, and then the NCAA is going to figure out a way to get back at this university. Now to be fair, I'm speaking worst case scenario terms, where the NCAA looks at that and they take they take it personally. Okay. I'm not saying that won't happen. Most likely it will happen. But on the off chance that it doesn't happen, hey, great, whatever. They figured it out, and the NCAA took a very unique and unheard of approach to somebody figuring out a loophole to the law and saying, you know what, we're going to let you have that one. Okay, we're just going to go change the rule book, but hey, that one's free. That's not going to happen. The NCAA will come down like a sack of rocks to make an example out of that university. There have been football programs for Division I schools that have yet to recover from penalties that were handed out a decade or 2 decades ago. And there was a period of time when Texas A&M was deemed bowl ineligible by the NCAA for infractions, recruiting infractions. And they're just barely starting to get back, to where they're starting to recruit these D1 commits from high school. They just need to figure out what the hell is going on with their football program. Because their football program this year had all these high hopes and aspirations, and then they go out and they play. Well, they play as flat as the woman who got a job working at Hooters, but then ended up becoming a dishwasher because she couldn't fill out the tank top. Okay.
I just know how a lot of people go away and bypass a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, and that's everyday normal human beings like you and I, but we are talking about multi-million-dollar institutions going to battle against the NCAA, which is the governing body that controls their athletic endeavors.
Well,
and it's not like they're going to come down on the entire university and say, sports wide, you guys are banned from postseason.
Yeah.
Okay. They're not going to do that. They're going to punish that program. And dimes or dollars to donuts, the money maker for 98% of the universities in this country, generate a majority of their revenue off of football every year.
Yeah, that's a definite. That's even in high schools in Texas.
Yeah, we're in high school, Texas high school football. We're filling out stadiums more than most NFL teams.
Yeah,
and that's on an average Friday night.
Yeah, but anyways, that is it for 88. We're almost 200.
You know, that one kind of went off the rails a little bit, but I think we recovered rather nicely.
I didn't really go over.
Now, to be
It didn't drop
fair,
the
I
rails
did
only
get a
because
little
it
out
was
of hand
actually.
with my political rant, but you know, I mean, some things are just are worth saying. And
Yeah.
that one, to me, that one, I'd been biting my tongue on that one and biting my tongue on that one because that story's a couple of weeks old.
Yeah.
And I just chose to ignore it because I didn't want to give it the credence that the mainstream media was giving it, because we're the furthest thing from being a mainstream outlet. I mean,
You'd be surprised.
we are very alt, man. I'm telling you, we
Yeah.
are very,
We're
we
opinion
as it
based.
relates to mainstream. And I'm talking about the major networks. I'm talking about ESPN. I'm talking about Barstool Sports. I'm talking about all those, right?
Yeah.
I love Dave Portnoy, love the guy to death, but we're not Barstool. Okay. We are like the we're like the emo suicide girl of sports shows. Okay.
I keep on telling everybody it's kind of like Wayne's World. Actually in the movie we're the old.
Did you ever see that episode? Did you ever see that episode of Scanners where the guy's head exploded? Yeah.
See the movie. It was a movie.
It's a movie. Yeah, it's a movie. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Anyways, everybody, episode 88. Next week, Chris should be back. So we'll have our.
So please pour in the comments on our Facebook and Instagram page and our YouTube page. Welcome Chris back. I mean, I want to see pictures sent to our Facebook page, our Facebook Messenger, with homemade banners saying "Welcome back, Chris." I mean, the guy's a big fluffy teddy bear. He's been lost in the snowy tundra of Montana for the last couple of weeks, and
I hope he comes back. How horrible the weather's going to be this week.
Right? I mean, good God. I mean, when he lands at DFW, I mean, it's going to be like.
It's like he never left Montana.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Except
snow. We won't have snow over mountains. So.
Right. I mean, the scenery won't be there. Okay, so it'll be exactly like Montana, except for no mountains, no beautiful snowy landscapes, and exponentially more shitty drivers on the road.
Yes, this is true. He's been driving the back country, so he doesn't have to worry about fucking people driving around.
Right. I mean,
have you checked out his videos on his TikTok?
I have. Yeah,
dude, that is some beautiful scenery.
I mean, I don't want to go to Montana just because I don't want to be pegged as one of those city people that go up there and vacation. But I mean, I'll go up there to visit as long as I'm hanging out with him. I don't care.
He showed me the area that he grew up in, just a topical graph and everything. Dude, man, it reminds me of Fritch, Texas.
What we need to do
up there all the time.
We need to pressure him to taking us on an elk hunt up there.
You know what? I think I talked to him about that. Us doing that. But anyways, I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Johnny Skelton. And you have been listening, watching, orgasming to Nerd Sports, episode 88. You are welcome.
I thought I had it. This thing is really low.
You got to hold it up to the microphone, bud. I'm just saying.
And a Happy New Year. Christmas, you filthy animal.
No, it's not that. It's the no, it's all the way up. It's
hold the phone to the microphone. That's all I'm telling you.
No, all I have to do is Bluetooth it to my soundboard.
Okay, then do it.
I did.
Do it again.
I
did. I heard like 2 words of it.
You can Bluetooth you can Bluetooth it, but I turned up the volume all the way on my phone. It's I'll have to hold on.
Now, to be fair, I'm not going to watch a lot of games on Saturday, and here's why.
There we go.
Smooching with my brother.
That's a dirty lie.
Phony Bob, Cliff. I could go on forever, baby.
You got me all wrong.
All right. I believe you. But my Tommy gun don't.
Johnny, You're the only duck in my pond.
Get down on your knees and tell me you love me.
Baby, I'm over the moon for you.
You gotta do better than that.
If my love was an ocean, Lindy'd have to take 2 airplanes to get across it.
This is so horrible.
Maybe I'm off my hinges, but I believe you. That's why I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna give you to the count of 3 to get your lousy, lying, low down 4-flushing carcass out my door. 1, 2.
Are you
Please.
fast forwarding through the
Merry
gunshots?
Christmas, you filthy animal. And
Oh,
a Happy New Year.
Okay, I found a better video.
and you know what though? It is not officially Christmas Eve until we watch Hans Gruber plummet from the Nakatomi Plaza.
And now it's gonna be Violent Night. Yeah, Violent Night.
Yeah, I'll check it out
I
eventually.
still haven't
but
watched that movie. I think I'm gonna do that Friday.
you've been listening again to Nerd Sports number 88. That's David Dickerman on the other side of the screen, and I'm Johnny Skelton. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers, and welcome to the party, pal.